discriminations, bullying, and other criminal cases that impacted toward a certain ethnic by the other ethnic will be already exist until the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. For example, like status quo that already happened right now currently in USA on how black people, George Floyd, being killed by the white people there, ladies and gentlemen. He is being killed by the police there, even if he already said to the police to stop hurting him at the very first place. But what happened exactly? The white people, that police didn't care what he said at the very first place, ladies and gentlemen. And also, there are so many other discriminations, even bullying that happen nowadays in the worldwide society, ladies and gentlemen. Even if there is still a lot of campaign, for example, or movement, for example, like Black Lives Matter, but the value that voices the value of tolerance, but it will never get a better change time by time, we see, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why in our side of the house, we believe that this kind of things is very matter to concern with, ladies and gentlemen. Even people have a right to every people have a right to get a safe place, a better life, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't want to break that principle, because it is a right for every people to get a better place, ladies and gentlemen. So back to our emotions, we have to speak as parents, ladies and gentlemen. We know that parents have obligations, have a sense to always protect their children wherever they are, ladies and gentlemen, to provide a better place and nice environments towards their children in their grow up times, ladies and gentlemen. Because in their grow up time, in the golden age, it's very matter to make them feel comfortable and etc. As parents, we don't want to make our children get a bad treat by their environment, ladies and gentlemen. Moreover, we see, even if in the big country or developed country, especially in a white country that have open-minded society, ladies and gentlemen, but the case of discriminations and bullying doesn't show us any better chance, ladies and gentlemen. It will already exist time by time, ladies and gentlemen. For example, a lot of children get bullies in their school because of they have different skin color, for example, different religions and different ethnic at the very first place. We can see that in the current issues, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of discriminate already happens. For example, like in Lebanon and already in the Israel with Palestine, ladies and gentlemen. So at the end of the day, if we put our children into the wrong place and didn't get a nice environment, it will impact it towards their life in the future, ladies and gentlemen. For example, like mental breakdown, traumatic, and any others. So as parents, we don't want that cases happens. We have a sense to make our children always get a nice environments. We believe that to prevent this case, one and only way or the better way for us is to live with the ethnic enclave, ladies and gentlemen. Because something that we want to make a line is we don't mean to differentiate our children to the other society, but in here we just try to protect and give affections to them, because we have a sense as parents, situations for us to do that, ladies and gentlemen, don't mean to make a big difference to the other society, but it is our obligations to always protect our children. In the ethnic enclave, ladies and gentlemen, we can have the same feeling because we have the same unity, ladies and gentlemen. So we have the same feeling, and so we can contribute to other. Keeping our children in the safe and nice environment is very matter to their life. Moreover, especially in their golden age, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to make our children obviously being differentiated, but live in the ethnic enclave can support our right as human to get a safe place. So we can see in parents' point of view, as parents, they have a big worries about their children's environment, especially if they are minority in that country, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why it's okay for them to direct or put their children wherever they want, because that's the right of that parents, ladies and gentlemen, and they have a sense to protect them. So because they know what is the better for their children's life. For example, like in the status quo that already happens, parents have a traumatic to see how the current issues about the discrimination, so they get a big worries to the children at the end. So we believe that is it okay to parents to decide whatever the best things for their children, for example like putting their children into the ethnic enclave, ladies and gentlemen. Even if they live in the ethnic enclave, that children can socialize very well, ladies and gentlemen, like what should have been. The idea of socialize well can be achieved even if they live in the ethnic enclave, ladies and gentlemen, because they can socialize well if their environment is safe and nice for them. If the parents putting them on the right place, absolutely the children can socialize well, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine when that children put on the wrong place, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of the socialize well itself cannot be achieving as well, because in the very first place they already get intimidated, they already get bullied, ladies and gentlemen. So at the end of the day, this idea of socialize well cannot be achieved. So as parents, we believe that and we support that idea, and this kind of things will be implemented because we have a sense, we have a right to decide whatever the best things for our children. So that's why we're so proud to propose. Thank you.
Bisa itu lanjut loh.
Ntar di pause aja 6 menit 27
Terus bisa pause? Nah, langsung ngerti apa nggak?
dipotongnya nanti gimana?
Nggak dipotong, udah lanjut. Itu lanjut kan? The question in this debate is actually why this motion comes up to the table, ladies and gentlemen. So this motion comes up and exists because in the past, Black Lives Matter already became an issue about how struggle African American getting a lot of bad treatment from a majority society or community, which is white people in the United States of America. They are getting discrimination in so many aspects, which is education, job opportunity, justice system, and etc. Why African American got bad treatment and getting so many discrimination in a predominantly white country? First, because they are different from the majority citizens in the US based on skin color. Second of all, major citizens in the US judge them as criminal, robber, bandit, etc. Since there are some cases that African American did that because of they need to survive in the United States of America. Third of all, in the past, there are a lot of intolerance and injustice action that African American community got from the majority of U.S. citizens. Because of that background, ladies and gentlemen, that's why it creates a traumatic effect for the African American immigrant parents to live in the U.S. Since in the past there are a lot of burden that they face, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it's justified enough why, as first generation immigrant parents, they have a parent instinct to protect their children get a bad treat and discrimination, ladies and gentlemen. So what we are offer from the opening government here, we are as the opening government, I would like to characterize first what is the characterization of the parents. Firstly, Naturally, parents have an instinct to protect their children for every dangerous stuff. They will do anything, even by sacrificing their life, just because of they want to save their children from danger. Thing, ladies and gentlemen. Second of all, they are the ones that have a moral duty and moral responsibility to protect their children, ladies and gentlemen. That's why this kind of parents naturally will do anything else to give the best places for their children to live in, ladies and gentlemen. Our goal as a government is very simple. As parents, we want to protect our children from the bad treatment such as bullying, discrimination, and such. Second of all, want to give the most safety place for our children to live in, ladies and gentlemen. That's our goal from the government. We didn't mean that we ourselves will discriminate ourselves from the majority population, which is white people. But this is the best choice because the previous condition forced us to do so, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't want to discriminate ourselves from the major citizen, but the condition in the past forced us to do so because we don't want to this kind of things happen in the future with our children, ladies and gentlemen. At least we avoid our children from first body shaming, second discrimination, third intolerance, and fourthly bullying and etc. Ladies and gentlemen. They are the children. They should enjoy their childhood. This is the period for building their character in future, ladies and gentlemen. Their childhood will determine based on what they become in future. Their childhood will determine what they become in future. We didn't want that children got insecurity since they were children, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally not fair for them because they are children that is innocent. They don't know anything. But we as the parents, we speak as the parents. We don't want our children get this kind of insecurity since they were children, ladies and gentlemen. Two things in my speech. First, why it's justified for the parents to choose to live and raise children in an ethnic enclave. Second of all, why it's good enough for the whole society and it's fair enough for the whole country, ladies and gentlemen. First, why it's justified for the parents to choose to live and raise children in an ethnic enclave. First, because ethnic enclave will consist of the same ethnic race with them. It will create a good condition for their children to live in. Why? Because their children will treat them very, very well by another children and another people because they have the same skin color and physical characteristic. So they will be treated very, very well by the community itself, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if your children live in the community which have a same ethnic with you, which has a same characteristic like physical characteristic with you. It doesn't matter for the children, and we are not too worried as the parents to let our children interacting and also socializing with another children and another people around that environment. Because we already guarantee that this kind of places is going to be safe for the children. At least it will be avoided and prevent this discrimination, body shaming, and bullying, ladies and gentlemen. Second of all, why it's good enough for the whole country and also fair enough for the whole society in the United States of America itself or in the whole country. First, at least they have tried to minimize the interaction with the majority population in order to trigger the conflict between two ethnic. Ladies and gentlemen, several steps to prevent the conflict and war between the black people or African American with the local citizen, which is white people itself. At least we as a minority, we already tried our best to prevent this kind of conflict. How we do that by avoiding by minimizing the interaction between minority and majority, ladies and gentlemen. That's why, like by living in the enclave, it means like we as a minority already tried our best to avoid the conflict with the majority society. So when the majority population attack the minority, it will create the revenge feeling from the minority community. We don't want this war happen anymore. That's why it's much better for us to live separately with the white people in order to minimize interaction that could create a war between African American and etc. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the solution that we as a government offer here. We never talk to you like we will increase the discrimination because we just separately live with the majority. But our goals here, we just want to we just want to live in peace, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to we cannot deny that we are minority. We cannot deny that we are coming to their country to survive, ladies and gentlemen. That's why, because we know that we are minority, and we know that we didn't want to create a war between the majority. That's why we choose to live separately with the majority, ladies and gentlemen. And also now in this debate we will speak as the parents, which has a natural instinct as the parents to protect our children from any dangerous stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we as a parents have a moral responsibility and moral duty in order to protect our children. That's why by choosing to live and raise our children in an ethnic enclave is the best solution and the best choice for the entire parents and gentlemen, because no parents in this world want to give and want to let their children live in the danger situation, and gentlemen. That's why we are stand for the peace, and opening government will win this debate. Thank you.